So today I'm going to be talking about the different white blood cells within your body. There's 8 of them that I'm going to go over, and there's 8 in your body. There are 2 kind of categories when we're looking at white blood cells. So we have granulocytes and then we have agranulocytes. These obviously differentiate from each other, but granulocytes, when we're thinking of granulocytes, the name granulocytes come from the fact that these white blood cells have visible visible granules within their cytoplasm when you stain them. So these neutrophils, eosinophiles, and basophils, or phils, however you want to pronounce that, are going to appear a different color under a microscope. I'm sure if you're taking anatomy for histology reasons, you will observe most of these blood cells under a microscope. So I did kind of draw some of those out so you can see what they look like. But first off, we have neutrophils. So neutrophils are the first responders to an infection. They perform phagocytosis of pathogens. They appear light pink under a microscope, or kind of like a neutral color under a microscope. And I don't know if you've ever noticed, but if you've ever gotten a cut or a scrape or something like that, and then afterwards, after it kind of healed up, or during the healing process, there was pus that formed, that was due to neutrophils or neutrophils. So neutrophils produce that pus after they die when they're fighting an infection. So these are very important. They are the first responders to an infection. Next up, we have eosinophiles. So eosinophiles get their name from eosin, which is a red dye that they have an affinity for. So like I said, histology reasons, taking anatomy, whatever, you will notice that these appear red when you are viewing them. These are attacking parasites. They are helping regulate your allergic reactions within your body. These are very important, of course, for your system. Next up, we have basophils. Basophils appear dark blue or purple under a microscope. These are actually responsible for releasing heparin and histamine during inflammation, when you're fighting off an infection and stuff like that. So they are releasing histamine, heparin. So very important. Next up, we have agranulocytes. So agranulocytes have 2 kind of subcategories underneath them. So we have lymphocytes and then we have mononuclear phagocytes. So lymphocytes are one of the largest, or they take up around 20 to 40% of the white blood cells within your body. These are the core white blood cells for your adaptive immune system. So they learn, they remember, and then they respond to different pathogens or whatever in your body. So these are actually really important. All of these are important, but you get what I'm saying. B cells, we have B cells. These B cells, think of antibodies, bodies, B cells, whatever. These are producing antibodies within your system. So they mature in your bone marrow. Now they don't directly come from your bone marrow itself. In that sense, they come from stem cells within your bone marrow. I can't pronounce the name of these stem cells, but it starts with an H. Now this is primarily in adults for babies or for fetuses. This is found in the liver because obviously fetuses don't have mature, fully developed bones. These eventually become memory B cells, so they're very important for your humoral immunity system. So all that means is that there's antibodies floating around within the fluid of your body. Next up, we have T cells. So T cells, think of thymus. The name T, they get their name from the thymus. So these are found in your thymus. Now, T cells are important for destroying infected cells or cancerous cells and stuff like that. There are different types of T cells. There are CD4 cells, CD8 cells. CD4 cells you're probably most familiar with, or at least I'm the most familiar with them just because of HIV. Now, HIV, not that I have HIV. I've just done some research projects on HIV, but essentially they have these GP120 proteins on the surface of the virus itself. These will bind to specific receptors on the CD4 cells and infect them. It's one of the reasons why HIV is so hard to treat and cure. It's one of the reasons, not the main reason. But essentially, these are like the LeBrons of mediated immunity. So mediated immunity, all it means is that they're killing infected cells within your body. So T cells, they are the best at this. This is what they do. T cells are very, very important for your body. Next up, we have natural killer cells. So natural killer cells are, think of those more as the security or the patrollers within your body. So they're always on call, they're always alert, they're always circulating. They don't need any sort of prior activation, so they don't have previous stimulus or recollection of previous infections and stuff like that. They're just always there on call, doing their things. Natural, think it's pretty intuitive when you think of the name natural killer cells. They're just naturally there. They're not memory cells in that sense. Next up, we have mononuclear phagocytes. So we have monocytes and then we have macrophages. Monocytes are probably the biggest white blood cell within your body. These are responsible for the phagocytosis of pathogens, hence why they're under mononuclear phagocytes. Um, Now, these differentiate into macrophages, but one of the biggest differences is that these are circulating within your blood, opposed to macrophages, which are found in your tissue. So, virtually any organ or tissue within your body, you will find macrophages, whereas monocytes are found in your blood. Now, macrophages are pretty important because these are the long-lived phagocytes. So these are long-lasting. These are presenting antigens to activate immune cells within your body. Now, the other important thing about these is that they are the these are the instructors of the T cells within your body. So think of them as macrophages are pointing, T cells are shooting, essentially. So T cells wouldn't be as successful or as useful without these macrophages. I did draw some of these out. It's not the best drawing, as you can see, and obviously these would look a lot better if a professional did them, but I'd try my best. But hopefully you can get some visualization out of this. But yeah, so those are the 8 different types of white blood cells within your body. I hope you guys learned something. And yeah.